there has been this NBA rookie who has caught a lot of people by surprise, but also a lot of people did expect this rookie to come out of college and destroy the NBA. When it comes to NBA rookies, typically the older you are, the less you're valued because they say older players have no more room to grow. For example, when Chris Duarte went into the draft, he wasn't expected to be a huge hit because of his age, and he also wasn't expected to be a lottery pick because of his age, even though he did so many great things in college. And we have seen this before with players like Buddy Hield, Jalen Brunson, Devontae Graham. All these players, 4-year college players, they were looked at as less because they came out of college older than the rest of their peers. In other words, they were basically in their mid-20s while everyone else was in their early 19s, early 20s. Now, before we get on with the video, guys, I will please ask you guys to like, share, and subscribe. I would really do appreciate it, and it really helps out the channel a ton. Now, with all that being said, let's get right into the video. Christopher Duarte was born in Dominican Republic in 1997. Now, I will admit to you guys, the sources are a little bit shaky. Some people say he was born in Canada, others were born in Dominican Republic, so take this piece with a grain of salt. But other than that, Chris Duarte spent 2 years in Northwest Florida State, where he then transferred to Oregon and played 2 years before declaring for the 2021 NBA draft. In other words, he used up all of his 4 years in college. Now, Chris Duarte went down a path we never really see players take to reach the NBA, and that was by going to a small college and then transferring to a bigger college and using all 4 of your college seasons to prepare for the NBA. This typically is very unheard of nowadays. While this was the norm in the early 90s to early 2000s, it has really turned into something that we don't really like seeing anymore because typically older rookies aren't as valued as they used to be. But with all that being said, Chris Duarte wasn't a college player who scored over 20 points per game like we've seen other 4-year college players do. Chris Duarte wasn't one of these guys, which can seem pretty weird to some people. Now, you would be surprised to know that Chris Duarte only averaged 17 points per game his senior year at Oregon. So why was he such a big deal coming out of college? And the reason is because of the amount of shots he would take and at the percentage he was hitting these shots at. He was extremely reliable in Oregon as he was averaging 53% field goal and a 42% three-point percentage on 5 3-point shots a game. In other words, he was torching other teams with his shooting, a player who could shoot pull-ups, step-backs from anywhere on the court while being a 6'6" shooting guard. No place on the floor was a bad shot for the guy. He was able to pull up and dribble anywhere he wanted to, and that is one of the reasons why he is seen as one of the better rookies coming out of college this year. And obviously, if you watched Oregon games, another huge factor was his defense in college, where he was able to be one of the better college defenders, not one of the best, but one of the better in 2021, while already looking like a guy who can play elite offense anywhere on the court, and he might be able to play defense coming right into the NBA. With all of these stats, it's easy to see why Chris Duarte was regarded as one of the better players coming into the draft, but his age really diminished his draft stock because we all know if Chris Duarte came out of college averaging these numbers and these shooting percentages as a 19-year-old, the NBA would have gone crazy for this guy, especially with him being a 6'6" shooting guard. But even at his age of 24 years old, we've seen Chris Duarte is already looking like one of the better rookies in this draft class. And the reason is because he already knows how he plays and he already knows the way he prefers to play. So in other words, he's not out here trying to be creative, trying to do other things, trying to play outside of his game. Because of his age, he is aware of himself and he is aware of what he prefers to do on a basketball court because he has that level of maturity that a lot of these younger 19, 18, 20-year-old rookies coming in that they haven't developed yet. That is one of the very special factors Chris Duarte has that not many other rookies are going to have. And because of this mentality, Chris Duarte is already averaging 15 points per game on a 43% field goal percentage and 40% from threes. So he is already shooting better than other 25-year-olds that have been in the NBA way longer than him. Even at the shooting guard position, he is already looking like one of the better shooters in the NBA from just his rookie percentages. Now granted, it has only been about 10 to 12 games, so take these stats with a grain of salt. Every rookie is going to hit a wall. Maybe Chris Duarte won't hit it, but to start the season, he has been looking phenomenal. And I can't say I expected this, because you can't expect a guy to just come into the NBA and average 15 points a game, no matter the age, because it's a very difficult league to play in. But I will say this, the reason why Chris Duarte is going to be so successful is because he is on the Pacers. And what do I mean by that? The Pacers was the perfect landing spot for Chris Duarte because it's a system lacking a consistent shooting guard that can hit three-pointers. Yes, they do have Chris LeVert, and they do have the Holiday. And Chris LeVert isn't a primary three-point shooter. He prefers his off-the-dribble mid-range pull-up shots or off-the-dribble down to the rim. He will shoot the three every now and then, but it's not his preferred shot. Malcolm Brogdon, one of the more efficient players in the NBA. But again, he isn't going to be your only shooting threes or I love to shoot threes all game type of player. Chris Duarte can be that guy, and he can do it at a very consistent rate for the Indiana Pacers. And that's why I think this team was one of the better spots that he could have landed on. Now, being honest, Chris Duarte, he really would have fit in any system, in any team, because he's the type of player that his offense will make the name for him. And some might compare him to like a younger Lou Williams, but in reality, he can do way better than that, especially with the way he's already been shooting. The reason why he can be so effective on any team, especially on the Pacers, is because he provides amazing spacing for Turner and Sabonis, which was one of the struggles that the Pacers had last season, and he can also help them play better defense, as they're already a team that's pretty good in defense, but adding this guy will just make their team even better on defense. And also, coming into a system led by Rick Carlisle, it was obvious from the beginning that Chris Duarte was in the perfect situation for a player as old as he is and a player coming into the NBA for his very first season. He has a coach that understands the way he plays and the best way to make him the most effective player possible. He's not with a rookie head coach. He's not with an experimental head coach. He's with a head coach that knows how to get the best out of his players. And lastly, one of the biggest reasons why I think Chris Duarte is on the best team for him possible is because the Pacers, they're not tanking, and they have the players that they need to win games. Chris Duarte just makes it so much easier for everyone on the court, and that's why I believe he will be extremely effective on the Pacers. And I do believe Chris Duarte is going to make an all-rookie team. Maybe it could be the first or the second, but I guarantee you he will make an all-rookie team because with this shooting number, with his situation, with everything around him, he is just in the perfect place in the NBA. And I couldn't have had him in a way better place because in reality, Indiana, they do have good players, but they aren't players that you want to put over rookies. Like, for example, you have the Holidays, but your Holidays, they're not your typical starting players. You obviously know that you can get an upgrade over them. And Chris Duarte could be that upgrade over the Holidays. He could play great next to Caris LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon. You run a three-man lineup with those three, and you have a great offense. Obviously, it will take some time to develop, but Brogdon can run point, Duarte can run shooting guard, and LeVert can run small forward. And then you run Sabonis and Turner. Maybe it's not the best situation or the best recipe, but in my opinion, I do believe that could be a pretty effective lineup in the NBA for years to come. And the reason why I speak so highly about Chris Duarte is because I don't think older rookies should be frowned upon. And I do believe it is a lot safer taking an older rookie that you know already knows how to play his style of basketball rather than taking an 18 or 19-year-old where anything can literally happen. When you take an older player, they know how they play best. And that's why I believe they can be most effective, because when you take a chance on a young 18 or 19-year-old guy who's only been 1 year of college, he doesn't really understand systems too well. He won't understand playing too well. And it's a huge developmental process for that young guy. Not saying he won't be a future great. He easily can be, but the maturity process and the teaching process isn't as involved for an older rookie because they've already been through it all. Now, I'm not saying for future years they should take 24-year-olds first overall in the NBA, but I do believe older rookies should be seen as more of a positive type of player because they shouldn't be frowned upon because of their age, because they can do so many great things on the basketball court that younger players won't be able to do, especially on winning teams. Like, for example, Chris Duarte on the Warriors would have been an amazing fit, and we all know that because he is mature enough to play with the Golden State Warriors. Now, I do expect Christopher Duarte to be huge in Indiana, as he is already proven to be one of the better rookies from his draft class, and he has all of the pieces, all of the tangibles, everything he needs even in front of him in Indiana, to become a great 3 and D player and have a very successful and long NBA career. Chris Duarte, he's going to be good. He's going to be great. He's not going to be a legend, obviously, but he can be one of the better players in the NBA with given time. And maybe some might say he will regress a lot earlier. He won't play as well further into his career. But hey, the prime of your NBA, he's going to be in the NBA and he's going to be playing great. So that is all I have for you today, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about Chris Duarte. I do like making these rookie videos where I try to explain or try to make these rookies look better than maybe they really do. I really do like it, and I do like speaking positively about them and not trashing their names. So, again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about Chris Duarte, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.